All right, let's talk about the Vitaly case. This is real world drama. This is internet drama. Everybody's wrapped up in it, like the Johnny Somali case. The guy did some nuisance streaming, and now he's going to get punished for it. He's going to go to court. He's going to go to trial. And you remember when everybody said, remember when Legal Mindset said, he could face up to 30 years. And well, it turns out the theft charges have been dropped, and he might only be facing up to 18 years, or 18 months, in prison. And the charges are going to be 3 counts of unjust vexation. Now that is something you might not understand, and I'm going to show you something that even Legal Mindset hasn't told you about. Something he hasn't told you about because maybe his Filipino friends, his Filipino lawyer contacts haven't told you. So I don't need to update you on this. If you're watching this video, you know what's going on. This guy did some nuisance streaming, is in trouble. He tried to get out of it by writing to this guy saying, I got some mental health issues. Please forgive me. And this guy, Romulia, says, no, you're going to trial. And you're going to serve your sentence here. Which, once again, could be up to 18 months. Now, a lot of people latch onto this and say, ooh, see, Asians don't care about your mental health issues. They're going to enforce the law. And this is just, I don't know how to say this. Again, more politely. You just can't say it politely. But Filipinos don't care about the law. This is not about enforcing the law. This is about saving face. If it was about the law, then, maybe the theft charges would not have been dropped. But the Filipinos don't care about the law. Right now, in the Philippines, Vice President Sara Duterte has been impeached. She was impeached back in January, February. And the Senate, instead of acting on that and convening an impeachment court, decided we're just going to recess and we'll do it when we come back. And now that they have come back, they've decided we're not going to do it. We'll leave it to the next Congress. And that has created a lot of, let's say, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of trouble, because business from the previous Congress cannot carry into the next Congress. And so these guys have shirked their constitutional duty. They don't care about the law. The president himself owes billions in taxes. Nobody's coming after him. His family owes billions in restitution. No one's coming after them. Filipinos just elected a mayor, a guy named Curran Espinoza, as mayor of one of their towns. And the guy is a self-confessed drug lord. And nobody cares about the law in the Philippines. It is selectively applied. Just nobody I cannot say that long enough. This is hard enough. This case is not about the law. It's about face. It's about saving face in front of the international community, because this guy, Vitaly, did make a fool of Filipinos. But, if you know the Philippines, it's pretty foolish. It's a pretty foolish country filled with foolish people who treat their people, their own kind, foolishly. Which is why the world is filled with OFWs. And there's even a whole office of OFWs to facilitate these people to leave the country. And then what do? They send back their euros and their dollars to the Philippines. That is actually a huge part of the Filipino economy as overseas workers. But we are off topic. We're talking about unjust vexation and Vitaly here. So what is unjust vexation? This is the part Legal Mindset hasn't told you. Now we're going to look at what unjust vexation is. And we're going to look at here this bill filed by Miriam Santiago in the year 2009. In July of 2009, this bill was filed. So she got an explanatory note. Unjust vexation is punished under the second paragraph of Article 287 of the RPC. It is well-established doctrine that a criminal or penal legislation must clearly define or specify the particular acts or omissions punished. Unlike the crimes of theft, murder, and rape that are specifically defined in the RPC, the definition of the crime of unjust vexation is conspicuously absent. Because of this article, 287, paragraph 2 of the RPC that punishes unjust vexation suffers from congenital defects and may be declared unconstitutional for the following reasons. Article 287, paragraph 2 of the RPC condemns no specific or definite act of omission, thus failing to define any crime or felony. Said penal provision is so indefinite, vague, and overbroad as not to enable it to be known what act is forbidden. Such vagueness and overbreadth result to violation of the Due Process Clause and the right to be informed of the nature of the offense charged, and such vagueness and overbreadth likewise amounts to an invalid delegation of Congress of its legislative powers to the courts to determine which acts should be held criminal and punishable. The state, having the right to declare what acts are criminal within certain well-defined limitations, has a right to specify what act or acts shall constitute a crime, as well as what act or acts shall constitute a crime. Hence, the instant bill seeks to provide a legal definition for the crime of unjust vexation and provide the corresponding penalty for its commission. This was filed in 2009 and was not acted upon, and as of this day, in the year of our Lord 2025, the crime of unjust vexation remains undefined and thus unconstitutional and thus non-existent. Non-existent. It is so overbroad that it is unconstitutional. There is no crime called unjust vexation. But people are still prosecuted for that because, as I said, people don't care about the law. They don't care about, not people. Filipinos don't care about the law, and they don't care about the Constitution. So here is a section from an attorney's office written in 2023 about unjust vexation in the Philippines. And we're going to look at what it says here. Here it is. Due to its broad scope, jurisprudence on unjust vexation is varied. Courts consider the social and psychological impact on the complainant, the intent of the accused, and the surrounding circumstances when determining guilt or innocence. In the conclusion, unjust vexation serves as an adaptable tool within the Philippine legal framework for addressing minor offenses that cause emotional or psychological harm. Understanding its scope and limitations can be crucial for both complainants and defendants navigating legal. Unjust vexation serves as an adaptable tool. That means it is not a real offense. It is not about law. It is not a defined offense. Here's their definition of it. Unjust vexation is a catch-all offense under Philippine law. Under Article 287 of the RPC, unjust vexation is defined as any human conduct that causes annoyance, irritation, torment, distress, or disturbance to the mind of another person. That, my goodness, that is so broad to be anything. To successfully prosecute someone for unjust vexation, the following elements must typically be present: act or omission, an action or failure to act by the accused that causes vexation to another person. Intent, a general crime, a criminal intent to vex, annoy, or irritate must be present. But as we see, it is a catch-all offense. And what is their conclusion? Unjust vexation serves as an adaptable tool. That means there is no law here. There is no unjust vexation. There is no unjust vexation. There is nothing that can be pointed to that says this is unjust vexation, because the law itself does not define it. So this man is going to go to jail for nothing. If they had kept the theft charges, he might have gone to jail for something. But unjust vexation, that's nothing. And that's what people aren't telling you. This man is going to be prosecuted for nothing, for a crime that doesn't exist, even under Filipino laws. It's not defined. It's unconstitutional. You should set the man free. Set him free if you're going to punish him under unjust vexation, because it's a made-up crime. Theft, however, is a real crime. But once again, the conclusion here is, one, Filipinos don't care about the law. This case is all about saving face. And two, unjust vexation isn't a crime in the Philippines because it doesn't exist. It's not defined. And you'll never hear Legal Mindset say that, or a Tozy, or any of these commenters who are getting their commentary from Legal Mindset because, well, Legal Mindset just doesn't know. He hasn't been told by his Filipino friends. Maybe in the future he will. But that's all for today. Bye-bye.